jobs. Well, with more on that, I want to bring in Dan Lublin, employment lawyer with Whitten Lublin Employment Lawyers. Thank you so much for joining us, Dan. I'm curious from your experience, anytime a company is shutting down their operations and they unfortunately have to lay off everybody, tell us a little bit about the process. What can employees expect to hear from Nordstrom?
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for having me. This is a unique scenario in that Nordstrom's filed for CCAA protection, which essentially puts a pause on any employee-related claims against the company. Individuals who are losing their jobs essentially have to go to a court-appointed monitor to file a claim for severance, termination, pay, unpaid wages, other things. And for the most part, these people are looking at receiving pennies on the dollar because they're essentially unsecured creditors. So unlike other situations where we've seen mass layoffs and mass terminations, and employees would be entitled to statutory or common law entitlements, these people that work for Nordstrom, they're in for a surprise in the sense that they won't be receiving, or most likely won't be receiving, what they would otherwise receive because of this filing for creditor protection.
So talk about the challenges for a lot of those employees who are probably wondering, well, what about my severance? I signed on. I've been working for the company since it maybe had arrived, or I've been working for several years. What kind of options does that leave them?
They're technically still entitled to severance and termination pay, but they're at the back of the line, so to speak, in an effort to try to recover that. So this is a challenging situation in that you can't really go to court, file a wrongful dismissal claim, and have a judge award you severance and termination pay. That would be the ordinary track. In this scenario, you have to file a claim with the court-appointed monitor, and then when all of the secured creditors are paid off, whatever's left at the end of the day, then you may be entitled to some of that. So certainly you have a long and winding road, and it may be very difficult for some of these people to obtain what they should have otherwise received.
Well, the announcement came on March 2nd that Nordstrom would be shutting down their operations and that it would be winding down by June. You can imagine that a lot of those employees are probably already starting to look for other jobs. What's the advice that you would offer those employees, especially those who feel that they do have a legitimate grievance and they want to pursue that legally?
Well, first thing, as you said, Jamie, is these people should be looking for other jobs to protect themselves. And nothing should hold them up from doing that. Would be the first priority. The second is they should speak to a lawyer to see what kind of claim they could make to a court-appointed monitor. There's something called the Wage Earner Protection Act, which is legislation which, despite them being an unsecured creditor, guarantees them a small amount of unpaid wages that could be paid. So these people can file a claim for some unpaid wages, but it certainly is a long and winding road and far more difficult than it would have been except for this CCAA application.
Dan Lublin, employment lawyer with Whitten Lublin Employment Lawyers. We appreciate your time and perspective as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.